Today I've got 5 shoes that I want to provide long-term updates on, some of which will be the last updates you see of these shoes on the channel. The reason? Well, marathon training starting soon, so I'll be aiming to bring in some fresh shoes ready to get stuck in to those longer miles. And we'll kickstart with the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. I've got an exciting update for you guys on this one because I left you hanging on a question mark in the previous 100-mile update with this shoe. Well, I've got a good positive answer for you, so we'll come on to this shortly. These 5 shoes are basically my current shoe rotation, some of which will get a few more runs in and then I'll shelve because hopefully I will get some fresh ones in ready for marathon training. So without further ado, let's start with the Puma. So before we get into the wear and tear, 139.8 miles logged in this shoe. That's nearly another 40 miles since I provided you with the last update. Why is that? We'll come on to that shortly. Wear and tear in this shoe still holding up really good. For a racing shoe, sometimes we see a little bit of degrading happening somewhere on the shoe, whether it's the midsole flattening out, whether it's the upper. Of course, materials are maybe a little bit thinner, everything is a little bit lighter, and so they're not built up quite as well. But to be honest with you, this one is holding up so well. And guess what? The midsole is still really good. So that cliffhanger I kind of left of, I wonder when this shoe is going to flatten out. In the last video, the 100-mile update, and I said I hope it lasts for a long time. A few of you chipped in and said I've got over 200 miles in my version and they're still going really strong. I can confirm that after 140 miles, they still feel really good, which is absolutely fantastic because this is one of 2 shoes in contention to be my marathon shoe in the upcoming autumn. Grip is still really good as well. Everything in this shoe is really good. And so how have I been using them? Well, effectively, I've got a couple of decent long runs in them since you have last seen. I wanted to get one done, which was kind of more time on feet. And again, I produced a video on that one. And then last weekend, I did a longer run. Sorry, last Thursday, I did a longer run, 17 miles with a bit of intensity thrown in there. That video is up on the extra channel if you want to go and see that one in a bit more detail. But that means that we have clocked up some really good miles in this shoe and quite honestly, plenty more to come. This shows no signs of wearing out anytime soon. Moving on to the Adios 9, 119 miles now in this shoe. So I've not long done a 100-mile update on it and giving you all the feedback. It's doing really well. But of course, the one thing that worries me with these lower stack shoes, like the Puma Liberate Nitro, like the Streak Fly, these type of shoes, I say lower stack, you know what I mean. A few years ago, they wouldn't have been. Right now, they are. They can often bottom out pretty quickly. I struggle to get 200 out of a Streak Fly. I've kind of been quietly confident this one will do really well. Time will tell. I've been using it. Let me go through that because this is really important. I didn't think I would continue to use it as I am right now. Let's go through the wear and tear very quickly. Again, really not much to update you on since that last video. Everything is still really good. This is obviously a super lightweight shoe. Materials are very, very light. Not a lot of structure to it whatsoever, but one of my favorite shoes of the year. The midsole foam is still doing really well, and the traction on the shoe, again, is just holding up really well. So one of the reasons I wanted to drop it in to this video is to let you know more so how I'm using it. And I'm still using them on those weekend hill workouts, and I plan to carry on doing that for the foreseeable future. I'll be switching gears on August the 25th. That's 8 weeks out from Abingdon Marathon. Until then, hills will probably still play a big part in my training. I'm starting to feel fitter and fitter. I don't want to drop anything that I'm doing right now. Everything is just clicking. I want to keep that in place. So I'm logging 13-mile runs in this shoe, a decent 5.5 mile easy warm-up, some 20 by 30 second hills, which ends up taking me in and around 4 miles or nearly 5 miles, and then wrapping it up with a just over 3 mile cool down. So I'm logging a good 13 miles in this shoe. Who said lower stack shoes can't run for more than 5 or 6 miles? I've been loving them. I know a lot of you guys have as well. I also know they're on offer right now, so these are a really good pair to pick up. A quick update on the On Cloudsurfer 2 before we get on to the 2 final heavy hitters. 173 miles in this shoe, kind of determined really to get it to 200. I mentioned that in the previous update when I shared something on this shoe. It's just doing really well. Surprise package of the year for me. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the best fitting On shoe that I've ever had, and I have struggled with On shoes with sloppy uppers. Most of the shoe in general works well for me, but sometimes you just don't get a good fit. This one certainly bucks that trend. Upper is holding up really nicely. Obviously, this was maybe like an off-white colorway. It's now more of a a brownie white colorway due to the dusty trails that we currently have here with the dry weather, but everything is holding up well. No snags, no frays, no tears. Midsole is just as it was. Really, this was never the most exciting midsole, but it just does get the job done. It's very firm, it's very basic. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. I actually think it's better basic foam than a lot of the other competitors' foams out there. Whether it's the holes that are cut in it or whether it's just the compound itself, I don't know, it just works really well for me. Grip is just doing so well in this shoe, it's not letting me down anywhere at all. I've honestly got no reason to swap this thing out. And as the Rebel, as you might have seen recently with my Rebel 100 mile update video, not being too confident on this shoe, there's no reason for me to swap this one out at the moment. Right, the Adidas Evo SL second pair edition. So this is a pair that I bought off Tim Gross, fellow YouTuber. Some of you might have seen that, some of you might not. He got 69 miles in his pair before he really just decided he wasn't interested in running them too much more. I was loving mine, I offered him some money, I took them off his hands along with the next shoe as well, which I'll give you an update on. And I've logged over 150 miles in the shoe. Basically, the total mileage now comes to 221 miles. Now, I had to retire my last pair at 300 miles, and the reason for that was basically I could just start to feel my ankle rolling in a touch and losing a little bit of support on the medial side of the shoe, just starting to get a little bit of tightness up the inside of the shin, and that was enough of a warning sign for me to say, do you know what, I've got 300 miles out of this shoe, I've got an incredible package in the shoe, paid 130 quid for it, the original one, not this version, I will bank that and take it. So again, we're approaching that mark, and quite honestly, I can feel the same starting to happen with this one, maybe a little bit earlier than the other one. I'm still really enjoying it, still doing my morning Tuesday sessions in them, and a couple of my easy runs, but ultimately, they're just holding up really strong. Definitely a shoe though for me that I don't seem to be able to get past 300 miles. So here we go, the final one, the Adios Pro 3. Are you sat down? Are you ready for this one? Well, maybe you won't be surprised to hear it, because of course, if you've seen some of my previous videos on this shoe, you'll know that this thing holds up really well. So I bought this one again as a package deal off Tim for 60 quid alongside the Evo SL, both of those shoes for 60 pounds. This one already had 289 miles in it, the other one had 69. I just wanted to take them off his hands and get some use out of it, because the last pair of these, I got 500 miles out of them. And combined with Tim's mileage, 289, and my mileage, 109 miles now, including an 18-mile run that I did today, we are up to 398, 99, where's my maths not working? I'll put the mileage on screen. I think it's 399, 398 miles. So pretty much 400 miles in this shoe. 398 miles, my brain started to click into gear then. So how have I been using this one? Again, wear and tear, there is literally nothing to update you on. Upper is holding up really well. These are built like absolute tanks. The midsole, check out the midsole. It is just volume-wise, it's still holding really strong. Everything looks really good. And in terms of the way it's running, it's still running in its prime. Grip is really good. You can see that there are some indents there appearing where the rods are, but grip is solid, and I have taken this one out in the more recent wet conditions and it still feels really good. Now for me, I will be wary as to how many more miles I can get in it. I am going to aim to get to 500. To be honest with you, my last pair, I probably could have got more miles in them than I did. I decided to stop just because, again, same as the Evo SL, this medial cutout in the shoe, I was finding the foam had compressed enough just so that my ankles were rolling in a little bit too much. But right now, I am getting nothing of the sorts with this shoe. I had a really quality long run in this shoe this morning, and I'm really debating whether it's going to be between this one and the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3 for my marathon. And quite honestly, coming off the back of the long run itself this morning, I really am probably swaying towards this. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I wanted to give the Vaporfly a shot last year, managed to pick up a pair, very grateful for that, and had a good decent run out in them. Vaporflies have always been a great shoe, but I tackled every single one of my long runs during that block in this shoe, and this block is probably going to be no different. So I'm really thinking to myself, do you know what? You get on with them so well, they work so well. I felt so flow state today in this shoe, ticking away at some decent paces. I don't know why I'm not considering them, so I'm probably going to try and pick up a third pair of these. So there's a lot of shoes I'm impressed with durability, but I've got to say these two, because they're racing shoes, I'm just really impressed. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to get 500 miles out of this one. The Pro 3 and the Lightstrike Pro formulation in this shoe is just different. And we know Lightstrike Pro lasts a long time, but I'm really impressed that this one is doing really well after 140 miles. There's not many shoes that I would still consider racing in after 140 miles other than this one and this one. A lot of the others start to go flat. I find the Next Percents as well, the Vaporflies, they can often start to go flat. So ultimately, I'm just feeling really good about these two shoes. I actually do think that I'm going to be able to get a fair few more miles in this one, and I'll be putting these two against each other over the next few weeks, over some long runs. But I think my priority now is going to be to try and pick up another pair of these over a pair of these. So there we go, some small updates from some of the shoes, some whopping updates from others. That Pro 3 is just incredible, some really solid mileage in the Evo, and the On Cloud Surfer 2 just keeps ticking away. A brilliant shoe, and excited of course to get some more miles in the Adios 9 and really see if I can push that one as far as I can. Of course, I'd love to hear from you guys what the most durable shoe you've found over the last couple of years is. I mean, for me, I think it's pretty obvious. The Pro 3 is just in a league of its own, but have you found one that can match it? If you have, do drop a comment. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite and most durable ones have been over those last 2 years. And just a quick reminder, if you do purchase your shoes from sportshoes.com, there is a link in the description below. There has been for years, and I just never shout about it. It doesn't cost you any extra to click it. It does earn me a small commission, and it does help fund the habit of purchasing and testing shoes. So I'd be very grateful if you do consider using that. And of course, there are other links in the description too. You can go and check those out. If you want to know more about how the Rebel is doing after 100 miles and you missed that update, check out this video up here. Not looking good for that one. And if you want to know more about some long-term updates, check out this video down here, and I'll see you guys over on one of those.